What's up, 12s? It's your boy Brandon Michael here, or the Hotcast, however you know me by. And guys, it is one day after our wild card exit against the LA Rams, losing 30-20. And everybody has a bunch of different opinions and a bunch of different takes about what was wrong with this team. But the number one thing that I keep hearing across the league or across Seahawks bloggers and whatever is our offensive line troubles. And wow, our offensive line didn't play good enough. When, should we fire Mike Solari? When the time came down to it, we got what Russell Wilson was pressured on over, almost 50% of his dropbacks, blah, 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 blah. I hear that left and right. I want to go ahead and take a deeper dive in our offensive line just because I feel like there's something behind what we have, up front with our five. And I want to go ahead and break it down with you because I feel like I found some stuff that's interesting and I think it's pretty obvious, but I just want to open some eyes for people that are saying it's the offensive line's fault. I think it is a combination, obviously, between Russell Wilson and the front office, but let's go ahead and break it down real quick. So I was thinking, and I was like, at the end of the day, our offensive line isn't very good because we don't pay a lot of money towards our offensive line. We don't use we don't go out in free agency and get these all-star offensive linemen and try and improve this front five for Russell Wilson. Number one reason is because Russell Wilson's getting paid a lot of money to do this year, a lot of nothing, especially the last 12 games. Didn't do jack, right? What was it, 20 touchdowns in the last 12 games? That's absolutely horrendous. We're paying him a lot of money. We're paying him, his cap hit is at $31 million, which is a lot of money. So, or 31, 35, whatever. I think it's 31 million, his official cap hit for the Seattle Seahawks. And that's a lot of money, like a lot of money. And obviously when you're paying a quarterback $31 million, it's really hard to go ahead and pay other positions like the offensive line. So I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about our offensive line, our best starting five when they're on the field. And let's go ahead and break down how much they're being paid and compare it to some of the other playoff teams in the league and see how much they're paying their offensive line. So, Dwayne Brown is getting paid $12.5 million at left tackle, which is, we're lucky to even have Dwayne Brown. He's getting paid a lot of money because obviously he's a veteran, former Pro Bowler. He's a really good offensive lineman. We don't know how much longer he'll be on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires during this offseason. He's getting older, having that nagging knee injury, But he's our most expensive offensive lineman by a long shot, right? And after that $12.5 million, it starts to go down from there. Mike Upati, our left guard, is costing us $2.5 million. Nothing. Ethan Posick, our center, $1.4 million. Damian Lewis, obviously, he's a rookie, so $887,000. It's not even in the millions. And then Brandon Shell's costing us $3.4 million in total. That's $20.6 million in total going towards offensive line. Keep in mind that over half of that $20 million is going to just one player, Dwayne Brown. So $8 million is being spread across 4 other offensive linemen. Not very good. It's only costing us 10% of our overall cap is being used towards offensive linemen, which it isn't a lot, to be honest. And I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and look at a guy that threw 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, has the number 1 seed, and has the Green Bay Packers going 13-3 right now. Let's go ahead and look at Aaron Rodgers' front line, and see what their front office did during the offseason or just in general. Let's see what they did to build this offensive line around Aaron Rodgers. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, first and foremost, is getting paid $21 million per year, which is $10 million less than Russell Wilson. And honestly, after this year, Aaron Rodgers is a better player than Russell Wilson as of this year, right? I'm not talking about overall career or 2 years ago. This year, he was better than Russell Wilson. It was obvious. He was working with less. Obviously, he had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, maybe the best offensive line. But besides Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard was out for a majority of the year. MVS, had the drop issues, and then you could look left and right and, try and pick a player for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. He made it happen. Robert Tonyan came out, had a great season too. And then we know Aaron Jones was injured a couple of games. He had to rely on Jamal Williams, who also got hurt. I believe Jamal Williams got hurt. If not, then he just got benched for A.J. Dillon. They're just working with a lot of players. Aaron Rodgers made it work, and he's not making any excuses. They're 13-3 and they're number 1 seed. They're not even playing this week because they have the first round bye. Let's go ahead and look at their offensive line. Their left tackle. This is the best possible five, right? Obviously, David Bakhtiari is out for the season, but I'm just saying what they invested to in the beginning of the season in order to have this all-star lineup. David Bakhtiari, 16.2 million, maybe the best left tackle in the game. Elton Jenkins, 1.5 million, not a lot, but that's okay because they spend it in other positions. Corey Linsley, 10.5 million. Right, and then Billy Turner, 8.5 million. Rick Wagner, 4.8 million. In total, the Green Bay Packers invested $41.5 million into their offensive line. That is 20% of their cap. That is twice as much as what Aaron Rodgers is getting. And that's twice as much as the Seattle Seahawks are paying their offensive line. The offensive line for the Seahawks is costing us $20 million. Packers are $41 million, right? So that's a $21 million difference. And another, big difference is, like I said, Russell Wilson's getting paid $10 million more than Aaron Rodgers. Russell's making 31, Rodgers is paying 21. So you see, the reason why we can't improve our offensive line is because Russell Wilson's eating it all up and he's not even doing anything with it. And everyone that's going out there and saying, oh, well, that's why we should be a running team, this and that. The problem is when you're paying your quarterback $31 million, you can't be a running team, right? What's the point of paying $31 million if this man's going to go out there and hand it off all day, right? The point of let Russ cook was letting Russ cook, literally. Like, he's going to be our best player on the team. Let him cook. Let him do what he does. If he's not good enough to do it, don't give him $31 million to do it. I mean, $31 million a year. Doesn't make any sense. If he's not good enough, just admit it and just, take some money away from him, try and make him restructure, take $10 million off, or even $5 million. Anything helps at this point. Because $31 million is way too much for Russell Wilson, who obviously can't do anything if he doesn't have the supporting cast around him with a good offensive line. I'm not done there because I just want to go ahead and show that was a big difference. The Packers are the number one seed, and they're spending $21 million more than the Seattle Seahawks in their offensive line. That's not it. I want to go ahead and look. I just picked a random another playoff team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was like, Tom Brady's getting paid $26.6 million, so $5 million more than Aaron Rodgers. I was like, let's see what they could do, because that's even more money towards Tom Brady. So I was like, maybe their offensive line isn't that expensive. No, it's still pretty expensive. If you want to go ahead and look, Donovan Smith is costing him $14.5 million. Ali Marpet is costing him $6.9 million. Ryan Jensen is costing him $10 million. Alex Cappa is $948,000, an earned cheap player. And then Tristan Wirfs, we already know about him, all-star rookie, $2.9 million. He has a high price tag because of the place where he was drafted. And in total, that's $35 million in total on their offensive line. $15 million more than Seattle Seahawks offensive line in total. And that offensive line in total is costing him 17% of the cap, and Tom Brady's costing him 13% of the cap. So once again, their offensive line, they're spending more on their offensive line than they are on their quarterback. Realize that these aren't bum quarterbacks. We're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers, who is about to win another MVP and is a Super Bowl champion. So realize that the key to winning games is to have a good offensive line. Give your quarterback protection. We are obviously not doing that. The difference between these are absolutely insane. Each team has at least 2 to 3 players that is getting paid double digit, so not double digit, but you know what I'm saying, 10 million, 12 million, 13 million, whatever it might be to their offensive line per player, because it's worth it. Invest up there, get some veterans up there, and spend up a little bit so we're able to give Russell some protection. Listen, you get what you pay for. If you give Ethan Posick, $1.4 million a year and wonder why he's getting blown up by Aaron Donald, well, dude, you paid him $1.4 million. Not like you're getting Ryan Jensen for $10 million and you're wondering why he can't block Aaron Donald. That's a different situation. Yeah, if we had Ryan Jensen or whoever it might be, if we have Billy Turner, right, and he's getting blown up by someone, right, and he's costing us $8.5 million, we can't sit here and be like, man, dude, Billy, we could sit here realistic and be like, man, Billy Turner, dude, we're paying you $8.5 million. You got to step up on those situations, right? Instead, we're looking at like Mike Upati and be like, man, dude, why is Mike Upati getting blown up by Dwayne Brown? Because we get what we pay for. Mike Upati's not that good anymore. He's older. He's not as athletic. He's gonna get blown up by the Aaron Donalds of the world. So at the end of the day, we have to go into this offseason, hopefully trying to spend some money on the offensive line, use some draft on the offensive line. We got to do something because obviously we don't have a high draft pick. We don't even have the first round. So our first round pick. It's going to be tough, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Don't sit here and try to blame the offensive line when the offensive line is doing the best that they can. They're literally not even that good, but they're still giving Russell plenty of time to make plays, 3 to 4 seconds. There's been several cases where Russell has had 3 to 4 seconds to make a play, and he hasn't been able to do anything with that. So don't go ahead and blame the offensive line when they're doing the best that they can. We don't have very good offensive linemen, right? And that's because Russell Wilson's taking up a vast majority of that cap. So, like I said, we need to play smart. Try and get Russell Wilson to restructure his contract and be like, listen, dude, you got to take less money, or else we can't surround you with the players that you need to be able to be a great player. Now, I truly believe that Russell can cook if he takes a lot less money and we go towards this offseason adding some good depth and not even good depth, good players to our offensive line. Be like Green Bay, literally. Bakhtiari, $16.2 million. Corey Linsley, $10.5 million. Billy Turner, $8.5 million. Rick Wagner, almost $5 million per year. That is a lot of money towards offensive line that is ranked maybe the number one offensive line in the league. And look at where they're at. They're 13-3, and they're with a quarterback that's older. He's aging, and they don't even have that good of good weapons. Besides Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones is good, but he's inconsistent. And we have a lot of players. I'm like right? There's not a lot of good, all-star players on the Packers offense except for that offensive line. Alan Lazard, he's okay. MVS, I already went to those players. So, at the end of the day, do not blame this offensive line. Don't blame Mike Solari, right? Look at Mike Solari. I don't want Solari to go. At the end of the day, what Solari's working with, man, he's working with nothing. He's going, and he's still giving Russell all this time. It's Russell who's hesitating and not being able to make plays. Like I said, I still blame it on the front office, but I'm just saying Russell Wilson-wise. You're getting paid that much money, Russ. You got to do better because we don't have the money to pay you the offensive line that you need because you're getting paid all that money. Now, Russ, if you're willing to take a pay cut, bro, this is going to go way better for you. I guarantee it. Just take a pay cut so we can surround you with some better players so you don't have Ethan Posick blocking for you for 16 games of the year. I just feel like this is like one of the number one things we have to address during this offseason. Because like I said, I'm not mad at the offensive line at all. We get what we paid for, and we paid for not very good offensive linemen. Like I said, if we were the Packers and we were putting $40 million to our offensive line, right, a fifth of our whole cap, and they're playing how they would, then we got a problem. Then I'm going to be mad because I'm like, dude, we're paying y'all that much money, $10 million a year, and you're playing like that, you're giving up that much pressure. We can't be mad at a bunch of guys that are making damn near $1 million a year, barely, right? Barely hitting $1 million. We got Damian Lewis, who's a rookie, but a guy who's not a rookie, Ethan Posick, $1.4 million, and just expect them to be like, oh, well, why can't you block Aaron Donald? Well, dude, he's not that good. Invest in some better linemen, and we're going to see the results. Instead of Seattle's trying to be so cheap with our offensive line, and that's why it's not working. When we were winning Super Bowls, we were paying our offensive line a lot of money. We had a good running game and everything because, with Unger and Okung, and we had all these guys up there. We had a strong offensive line, and we were paying them money. We kind of went away from that. We started paying other players, and look how we slowly start to decline. So, honestly, we need to start investing more in our offensive line, or else we're not going to see the results. So, go ahead and give me your thoughts, guys. Like I said, we are one of the only teams in the play. Not one of the only teams, but out of those two, the Buccaneers and the Packers, we are the only team that's paying our quarterback significant. You know what I'm trying to say, all right? I can't say that word. We're paying a lot more to our quarterback than our offensive line in a whole. All right, we're paying Russell Wilson $31 million. Offensive line is getting $20 million. That's an $11 million difference. The Packers are paying $41 million to the offensive line and only $21 million to Aaron Rodgers. $20 million difference, but in a good direction. And then the Buccaneers are paying Brady $26 million, and their offensive line in total is getting $35 million. So you see the difference there, right? So that's my opinions. Give me what you think, guys. If you disagree, tell me why. If you agree, please hit that thumbs up. It helps me out a lot, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be posting more off-season videos like this. If you like this stuff, just let me know. Go Hawks, guys. I'll see you guys soon, and stay safe.